yeah, man, like Frodo's over here with like Aerosmith's daughter, and then all of a sudden it's like Mountain Dew. It's like, well, I don't know how these things relate. Like, yeah, there was a Mountain Dew commercial with like Gamertag. Hey, welcome to Gamertagged. This is episode 3, and today we're going to be talking to Marthah Maple. This episode explores what happens when we outgrow our names and the people we were when we chose them. Joining me tonight is Portabella, who will be our co-host and our editor for this episode of Gamertagged. Marthah Maple's journey from GangstaBoo 3000 isn't just a username swap, it's a reflection of shifting identity, community, and self-expression. Marthah, thanks for joining us tonight to talk about your evolution.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Oh, we're super excited. This mic sounds amazing, by the way.
It does sound very good. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Hey, so in the first part of this episode, we're going to jump into like your origin story, right? So when you started, let's start at the beginning. Like, your original gamer tag was not Marthah Maple. What were you? And what do you remember about like becoming that first gamer tag or identity?
Yeah, I was GangstaBoo 3000.
Yeah.
I heard the out of that. So I didn't come up with GangstaBoo 3000 myself. I was pretty new to like the gaming space. My ex-husband was a big gamer, and I kind of got to the point where I was like, if you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah.
And coming up with a name was really hard. I'm not that creative. And he was spitballing and said GangstaBoo from 3-6 Mafia, and I was like, that sounds pretty dope. So I went with GangstaBoo. That one was taken, and my favorite number is 3, so I went for a 3. And that one, it just didn't feel right, so I added 3000 to it.
Bro, were you thinking like Andre 3000 at the time or what?
I get that question all the time. I actually was not.
I mean, hey, you just did it better.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
all right, so you're just like he gives you this name, right? Like that's where you start. And so what is it like? Like when you have your gamer tag for the first time, you're GangstaBoo 3000, do you introduce yourself to like people on the street as GangstaBoo 3000? Like, is that how you roll?
Not at first, man. Not at first. I think I had like a 2-week stunt of streaming for a while there, and then I did, and then I was like, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
I can't even stream like that.
What were you playing back then?
A lot of Call of Duty. It's not something I'm proud of. That's what I was doing.
Like COD 2?
So I actually started on Black Ops 2.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Dude, I think at that point I was still running into walls because I couldn't figure out how to maneuver.
We all got to start somewhere.
Right, dude, it was bad. I remember sitting there on the floor playing my Xbox and running into a wall and being like, why am I getting nowhere?
So 3000, right? Like you said, you your favorite number. Is your favorite number 3?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 3000. It's like
just
futuristic.
cool.
It sounds cool. Like, so nothing to do with Andre. It's just like, hey, I'm going to pick the number. Boom. 3000. I love it. That's really big energy, by the way. That kind of fits like
fake
your
energy. Yeah.
Yeah. Super fix your energy.
That's who was.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, so can you describe like what? Can you describe what GangstaBoo was? Like, I think that would be awesome.
Gangsters, she didn't give a
Okay.
okay.
Right.
She was going into lobbies. She was talking. She was making friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Couldn't back up any of her, but she sure was talking it.
So, do you think you were better at talking than you were at like shooting bullets back in the day?
For sure.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
For sure.
Hell yeah.
It seems crazy because just talking to you, you seem like such like the opposite of what you're describing. Is that part of the appeal of being GangstaBoo to you, or because it seems like it's completely different?
Yeah, no, for sure. Gangster was definitely like a personality that I could hide behind. In real life, I'm like very reserved, very quiet. It kind of takes a little bit to get to know me and get me out of my shell. But GangstaBoo, being online and just playing games for the fuck of it, really gave me an outlet to let those parts of my personality shine that don't naturally shine in real life.
Yeah, it's a way to kind of be not necessarily a more truer self, but to be more an elevated version of yourself in that way.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good way of putting it.
That's wild, bro. Because I mean, you've always had like every time. So you have a huge personality, right? Like I was saying earlier, we've hung out a couple times, but I mean, yeah, you're really good at prop hunt. You know what I mean? Like that's like your top 10 in the world at prop hunt, right, or something like that.
Top 3.
Top 3, yeah,
And
got
I
it.
do that on purpose because I want to stay at 3. That's my favorite number.
Looking for the bronze medal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
So-
my eyes pop.
So like, I have this problem a lot, right? Like, there's a lot of Scartos, SCARTO. Like that's pretty common. Like, I don't know. I thought I was super original and super cool. Apparently, like every time I try to like create an account, like that can happen where there's like multiple Scartos. So like I'm now Scarto 46 and everyone's like, oh, you're lame because you got numbers after your name. Yeah, I mean, I've got that a lot. Cool. So like, have you ever had that problem where you're like trying to, like create or engage with someone and they had that GangstaBoo name? Was that a problem that you experienced?
Not since I added the 3000. I've never run it. I've run into people that have like gangsta something, but I don't think I've ever run into a GangstaBoo, and surely not a GangstaBoo 3000. I've never had that issue securing that.
Did you ever feel lame because of your numbers? They want to make fun of you?
Absolutely not, dude. This makes
Okay.
you cooler.
Yeah, that's what I said, bro. That's what I said too. So that's
Right.
Yeah. So when we were talking, or I think before, you said there was a moment like there was a real GangstaBoo like on Twitch. Is that right?
So she was actually a rapper for 3-6 Mafia.
No word. So you really thought about reaching out to the GangstaBoo from 3-6 Mafia?
I actually did reach out to her because I was considering taking Twitch streaming a little more seriously. I wanted to kind of like make it a brand. And I started getting hung up on am I kind of violating any kind of
infringement kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I found her on Instagram and I shot her a message, and I bet I could pull it up. Okay, so I found it.
Yes. Excellent. Can't wait.
Okay, so the message I sent her was really long, but it was basically just like, hey, I'm a nobody and I want to stream on Twitch. I've been using GangstaBoo 3000 as my name. Like, is there an issue with that? Is it okay if I use that? Do I have your permission? Do you have any thoughts on it, type thing? And she responded to me within an hour, by the way, which I thought was pretty dope. I was like,
dope.
look at me go. But also, she said, my name is GangstaBoo, not GangstaBoo 3000. Those are my thoughts. And the kissy face. And I was like, very well, thanks.
Wow. All right. Well, I think like we've kind of talked through the GangstaBoo 3000 era. Like, so is there anything else like you want to add on about that particular time in your identity, right? Like that, like where you were, like how you were thinking, or maybe not, like maybe that like gives you a good perspective of it, but I don't know.
No, I think that's about the gist. Like, I mean, really in that time, I was just kind of figuring out who I was as a gamer, what I was into, kind of the circles I wanted to run in and game in,
So like, that's not your name anymore. You don't go by GangstaBoo 3000 anymore. So like, we're going to shift into that.
Yeah. It's more so because right now, obviously, your name is Marthah Maple. And we were really curious what sparked the idea to change your name, and not only that, to change it to Martha of all things, Marthah Maple of all things.
So the name change was a long time coming. I had left my ex-husband and the name was given to me by my ex-husband. And so it felt like kind of a skin I needed to shed in a way. And in addition to that, having Boo in my name invited some unwelcome comments and stuff from male gamers that, it's just weird to be playing like a competitive shooter and to be called Boo every round. I didn't like that. And
Especially
so it
when
was
you're-
time to like,
Especially when you're dunking on them.
that's what I'm saying. That's embarrassing for them. I don't know why they would want to go that route.
So when did your name change? Like what? So you were headed towards a name change, like you said. Like, but like, what was there like a moment like that this happened? Like,
There was. So it took me years to finally find Martha, and like Martha was the first name in years that felt right to me, and I didn't want to change my name until it was something that like I liked and felt right. And so I think it was like 2021, 2020 maybe 2020. I was playing Valorant, and I was in a lobby with some Canadian gamers, and one of them was a woman that had a Twitch channel, and she linked it at the end of the game, and I was like, all right, dope. So I went to check her out, give her a view. And we got to talking in there, and it turned out that they were also 30-something-year-old gamers, which kind of a hard find, kind of a rare find. So I was like, oh, this is cool. Like people my age that play the games I like to play. They invited me into their Discord server, and the first couple of times I went in there, we would just like kind of play games, shoot the and eventually I gave them my real name, and I'm not sure why I did that. It's not something that I usually do. But I gave them my real name, and then I think one of the people in the server kind of realized that I felt weird about giving my real name. So the next time I joined, he was like, oh, yeah, you said your name was Martha, right? And at first I was like, why is he calling me Martha? That's not my name. And he kept calling me Martha, and it kind of stuck. And then there's this other guy in the server. Oh, he's a goofy guy. He's a really nice guy, but he's not the brightest bulb. And so he changed my Discord like server profile to Martha, but he put an H at the end. And then as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's it. I'm Martha.
Hell yeah. That's amazing. One, that is super cool that dude was like, oh yeah, your name is Martha, right? Like that's super cool. But the dude, who were you? So you said there was years in between, right? Like who were you in between?
I was still GangstaBoo and hating. I didn't want to be GangstaBoo anymore.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. I was not creative enough to find something on my own, I guess, that like really felt right. I felt like everything that I was coming up with was like very 90s AOL.
Yeah. It's so hard. Like, it's like you're trying to put a label, or you're trying to like, what is the right way to say this? It's like you're trying to name something that you can't see, but you feel or you think about, and it's got to like fit you. And that like that time in between is like real weird, right? Like, you're not that thing anymore, and you're trying to make a decision. And like, I think it's hard for everybody to like, maybe not. Maybe some people are like, yeah, just a random name generator, but like, it's kind of like how you represent yourself to the world, And so I totally get that, like in between time. And when you said that Martha fit, like, what was it about that? Like, it was just like made sense. Is that what you're saying?
I think it was the flair of the H at the end. I was like, I could represent that. That's different without being too different. Martha is a very unassuming name, and I felt like it kind of fit the era of my life that I was in. I wasn't like GangstaBoo. She was the life of the party in every party that she was in,
Yeah.
And Martha, it just kind of, I had gotten away from that. I was feeling more secure in myself and my online identity. And I let my gaming speak for itself, like my skill in the games rather than like my personality. So I was like, yeah, it could be Martha.
Like you had grown to a point where you're like, yeah, I'm confident in like, I mean, no one knows this, but like you're really good at competitive shooters, so
Okay,
like,
I'm all right.
Yeah, no, you're scary good. But like you've gotten to this point where you're like ready to, it's like you, right? And I think what's cool about what you're talking about is like who you were when you were younger, like fit that model, but who you grew into no longer made sense. Like outside of like your relationship, like just your personality, like you grew as a person and you're like, dude, I got to figure out like, how do I represent that to other people,
Exactly.
That dude somewhere right now is probably still misspelling Martha. You know that, right?
Dude, he's misspelling everything. I think he has a 4-letter name, and I think he probably misspells that.
Fucking love that. I love that guy. I don't even know him, but like,
He's trying his best out there. That's all we can ask for.
Sweetest guy. He means so well.
Yeah, but to put him in a spelling bee and he's getting dumpstered.
He's done.
What were y'all playing on the Canadian server? Valorant?
Valorant and CSGO.
Oh my God. See, I don't understand. Okay, like, separate note. I don't understand why people love Counter-Strike or Valorant. It's round-based, and you get, okay, for me, right, younger version of me would get on Counter-Strike because that was a thing back in the day. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to play Counter-Strike. And then I'd buy all the stuff and walk 1 foot out the door and just get ripped, like dead, right? And I don't, like that experience for me, maybe it's just trauma, like childhood trauma, right? But my experience with like Counter-Strike has always been like, not that I'm getting better. It's just that I am a pinata. That's probably the best way to describe it.
Maybe shooters just aren't for you. Maybe that's the problem.
I played shooters my entire life. Just the shooters that required me to get shot more than once. And in those games, like you get shot, you're done. What is it that you love about those games that I just don't get?
It's tough to play them when you're getting on, but when you're doing the one shitting, when you're the one doing the
yeah,
oh,
yeah, it's the best. Whenever
around. It's
this
fun.
is back to your big energy. Yeah, bro.
Absolutely. And like it's funny too because like especially with Counter-Strike, there's lobbies that a woman just cannot talk in.
What do you? So this is like me asking a question. Like when you say like there are like lobbies that a woman cannot talk in, like what do you mean by that? Like because it's just like everyone's like, oh, it's a girl. First time I saw a girl, like that kind of thing.
I mean, if it's just it's a girl, I can handle that. It's when they start shitting on you for being a girl, harassing you, cussing you out, throwing the game, team killing, all that kind of stuff. That happens a lot.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Mostly because male, female, whatever, dude. Like everybody's just playing, having fun, man. Like don't be a. That's all there is.
Exactly.
Like
it's just
don't be a dick. Also, if you're really worried about like your orientation, like there's probably other things to worry about. Like what? Why not worry about like meteors hitting the earth? Why not like worry about like recycling? You know what I mean? Like just worry about something else. That's so dumb.
It's just one of the things where like they, from my experience, it's like it's almost like they're just not confident enough in themselves. So the idea that someone else who is not the same gender as them, or regardless of whatever gender they are, and they get so intimidated by that fact that they have to project it towards the air quotes weakest player or who looks the weakest.
Their insecurities become your problem.
Bro, I learned so much about what I think good dudes look like from being afraid of my mother and raising a daughter or being part of her life.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like seeing the world that is created for women through her eyes, I'm like, well, I just need to like crush everyone that is an asshole, right? Or like create safe spaces where people can like do shit. Like her existence drives 80% of the way that I engage with the planet. All right. So let's talk about Marthah Maple.
Let's talk about her.
Okay. So who are you today? Right? Like in the lens of this name, like as Martha with a silent H or, whatever. Who are you today? Like, can you describe what it looks like, what it feels like color, shapes, energy? Like, who is Marthah Maple?
I mean, colors have got to be pink. But I guess like Martha is just somebody that wants to spread kindness. She's chill, laid back, shapes and energy.
I don't know. Like if you thought about it, right? Like, if
Or
you're
even
like,
just like inspirations, like what worlds do you see Martha in, if that makes
Yeah.
sense?
yeah, exactly.
Martha's in outer space, for sure.
Outer space. Okay. Like on Mars.
No, she's just floating out there. She's in the Milky Way with all the pretty colors swirling around her and stars and planets in the distance.
But she's like, is she like, she's like dressed in like armor, or she's just like drifting, man? She's just chilling.
Just chilling. She's just
Okay.
laid back, taking it all in.
Okay. She's like, that actually makes Martha super terrifying because like she's not outwardly aggressive, right? She's
I'm
like,
not scared. I'm at peace.
yeah, you're at peace, bro. You're making decisions. You're like, yeah, whatever. It's fine.
That's cool.
That's freaking awesome. Okay. So she's drifting through space and she's, there's a lot of pink and you're in the stars of the Milky Way.
Okay.
Does she have like a weapon on or anything? Nah. She's just like jean shorts and a t-shirt like YOLO 420.
Okay. Martha would be wearing something like. See, it doesn't make sense for space, though, is the problem.
Doesn't matter if it makes sense.
But
It's all
Martha
about
is leaning towards like a Lord of the Rings elven vibe. She's got like a bow and arrow and a really cool cape and hood.
Do you love Lord of the Rings?
I
Bro,
love
let's go.
Lord of the Rings.
Let's go. I have this debate all the time and everyone's like, oh, no, I love Star Wars. And I'm like, I don't even want to talk to you anymore.
No,
Like,
what?
yeah, lamos, right? Like, come on, Lord of the Rings is where it's at.
Here's the thing. Star Wars is good. Don't get me wrong. I was raised on Star Wars. I love Star Wars. However, I can easily go 5 years without watching Star Wars. Whereas Lord of the Rings, I have to watch that at minimum, marathon it twice a year at minimum.
Okay. So this is going to determine the fate of our future friendship. Okay. So this is a simple question like that I need you to answer. The simple question is, which Lord of the Rings is the Lord of the Rings?
That is true. Yes.
They're also good in their different ways, but I think it's got to be the Two Towers because the battles in it.
Let's go. That is the best. So every time like I'm not feeling good or I'm like I want to chill or whatever, that I literally put that movie on and I play it all the way and I watch it. And the girls are like, this psychopath sitting downstairs for 3 hours watching the stupid movie. And I have watched it 1,000 times. But Two Towers, because it's so much progression from like, yeah, man, we were just hanging out and like Frodo found this ring to like, bro, we're doing Helm's Deep over here. And like that movie is fire.
Yeah, no, that movie is so good. I cannot relate to just watching one out of sequence randomly, though. I have to watch them. Like, if I'm watching one, I'm watching them all.
When you think about the original Lord of the Rings, like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? And like, just first word.
Legolas.
Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't mine.
Wow.
I don't know what you expected.
Well, I thought we were vibing, but now I understand. So mine is Mountain Dew.
Okay.
Do you remember those commercials back in the day where it's like, yeah, man, like Frodo's over here with like Aerosmith's daughter, and then all of a sudden it's like Mountain Dew. It's like, well, I don't know how these things relate. Like, yeah, there was a Mountain Dew commercial with like Frodo getting like Liv Tyler is like taking Frodo across the river, right? Is it Liv Tyler?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like Red Mountain Dew's out now, code red. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's
How does that...
funny. I lived overseas. when it
word.
came out, so I wouldn't have seen that commercial. But that sounds fucking hilarious. I'm gonna have
It's like
to look that up on YouTube.
Like the most American thing ever, where it's like, yeah, don't worry, we're gonna save the ring. But by the way, do you want to buy some Mountain Dew? Like what?
And
So
everybody's
funny.
like, "Of course I do."
Code
I think
red.
mine's definitely got to be like probably the Shire. That's the first thing that came to my brain.
Oh
Dude,
man, I want to live in a hobbit. I actually just recently got a tattoo on my arm of a hobbit hole.
That's freaking awesome. Can I tell you another
That's cool.
story right now? So Portabella, when we used to play Minecraft together. Okay.
I don't know
And
if we used to pull. Oh yeah, actually, no, it continued.
we definitely
yes.
did. And I'll
Yes.
tell you how this
I know where
happened.
this is going.
I learned a brutal lesson. I built a hobbit hole, mostly because I didn't know I built crazy stuff. So I dug
so
a
you're
hole
just
in the
digging
ground.
through.
Yeah. Dug a hole in the ground. I put a goat in there. I did all kinds of stuff. There's like a water fountain. I thought it was cool. She moved in with me for like probably 2 hours. And then she started like trying to make the hobbit hole perfect. And I'm like, no, dude, it doesn't have, it's just a hole, you know, like you don't
It was
have
just
to
a
make,
dirt hole. You had to add some like floors and
No,
homie.
Yeah,
no, dude, he didn't.
to be homey. Hello.
It was homey-ish. Like me and my goat were fine until
With
she
the
moved in.
dirt?
Yeah, totally. She moved in. And then here's the crazier part of this story. She goes
Okay,
out.
I think I've heard
Here-
enough.
She moves out. All right. It was like a precursor to understanding how life would go. She moves out. She builds her own house. Her house is gorgeous. She's like, oh, look, I even built a roller coaster in my house. And I'm like,
I did not do that. No,
I'm still planting
no.
freaking seeds for my hobbit hole. And then we had a graveyard where our first horse was, and his name was Glue, that she named. What she's like
No.
about.
That is not. No, that did not happen.
It kind of happened like that. Who do you believe?
I believe Portabella.
Well, you also know that you're siding with evil.
So earlier when we were talking, you were kind of describing your GangstaBoo name almost like an era of your life. And it's interesting to say that you kind of view them as like what seems like almost like timestamps. What does Martha, in terms of like an era of your life, capture, like where you are right now?
So when you think of Martha, you don't really think of somebody like young and hip, right? I'm in my 30s era, man. I still game, obviously, but I'm also teaching myself how to crochet. I'm doing puzzles and reading books more, and I feel like Martha just kind of fits that better. It fits the more relaxed era of my life that I'm in, where I'm not trying so hard. I'm just enjoying the now, whereas GangstaBoo was very much trying hard.
You telling me that you crochet and play Valorant? You're so
Yeah.
multi-talented. That's insane.
Dude, and they're so different, right?
What do you crochet?
So right now I've just been doing a lot of like stuffies.
Oh,
But-
yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I want to do a blanket here soon. I found a really cool pattern.
All right, so how has your relationship with like your identity changed since you became Martha? Like, you talked a lot about, you know, like the shit. By the way, I want to go back on that. Like you said, 30-year-old out there. I'm in the 30s gamers. The 30s gamers are cool. Okay, like we're the only
Dude,
people who've seen it all.
rad.
Anyway, so yeah, 30s gamers are cool. That's a thing that we should leave in. 30s gamers are the best. Come get some.
Yeah, for real.
How has your relationship with identity changed since becoming Martha? Like, what's that evolution been like for you? Maybe like in person or like online, or what's happened with that?
So when I first started changing everything to Martha, I didn't. At first, it was just I'm just changing my name. I'm not changing anything about myself. And I went into a Twitch chat that I had been in prior, and the streamer saw my comment, something that I had commented, and was like, "Oh, I've never seen your name before, but it's not saying that you're a first time chatter." And I was like, "Oh no, I've been here for a while. It's GangstaBoo." And he was like, "Oh shit, okay, cool. You like had a rebrand." And someone in this chat was like, oh, wow, like the rebrand from GangstaBoo to Marthah is like a total 180. And I had to take like a step back and be like, oh, it actually is. Like I never, like they have very, very different implications. And when I started looking into that, I just kind of realized that like I am in my low-key era.
What do you mean implications though? Like when you say implications, what do you mean by that?
I mean, okay, so when I was GangstaBoo 3000,
Yes.
people see the name and they make an assumption of what GangstaBoo 3000 is going to talk like or what they're going to sound like.
Yeah, word, yeah.
So when I would speak, people would always be caught off guard. They'd be like, oh, what do you mean your name is GangstaBoo 3000? Like, what the hell is this? I played into that a lot, but you don't expect to hear like this shrill voice and like bubbly personality coming from GangstaBoo 3000, but you would be more inclined to believe it to come from Marthah.
Yeah, I get you. I understand what you mean by that. That's cool. So like they recognized that you have like the same avatar or whatever when you were in their chat. Is that what happened?
I think I changed it. I think I changed like my picture. I changed my name. I changed like all my socials.
Oh, so they were like, you're totally new here. And they were just like, yeah, let me like, yeah. That's cool. That's super cool. Yeah. Rebrand? I like that. I like that someone said it was a rebrand.
I know, me too. I like that too. I was like, oh shit, I did rebrand myself.
So in terms like a rebrand, like you seem like you're so comfortable in yourself now. Like at this point in your life, do you think you'd have any advice that Marthah would have any advice to give to GangstaBoo now?
Yeah, I would tell her to calm down. Don't try so hard. Just chill. And like the people that are meant to be in your life long term will be in your life long term. You don't have to try and be a persona in order to make that happen. Just relax.
I freaking love that, dude. Yeah.
GangstaBoo was high strung, man.
She was intense. I mean,
she was a lot.
I think that's really good advice, which is like, I think it's so cool that you could like look back at the different sides of yourself and be like, man, I just needed to chill out. Yeah, but like when you were starting out, when you're young, you're like, you're taught when you're young, like you gotta go get it and like hustle and push and but I love that you're like, dude, just chill out. It'll all work out,
I think that, I don't know, maybe I'll change my gamer tag when I hit my 40s and I'm entering into a new era, because I really think that GangstaBoo was very 20s and Marthah Maple is very 30s. I might return to her in my 60s. I feel that.
Hell yeah.
But who knows what's in store for my 40s.
What would you say to someone who's like in an identity today and like feels stuck and like, I mean, that happens, right? Like we've been a thing for a while and that creates expectations about like who we have to be in social circles or whatever, right? Like, but what would you say to someone who's like stuck in a name that doesn't fit anymore?
I'd probably just tell them that it can be scary, but to just start the process of letting go. It's okay to like grow out of things. It's okay to grow out of friend circles or games or whatever it is. It's not something that you have to rush. Let it happen the way that it happens, but don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That is great advice. I love it. We've kind of talked around this a little bit. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but what is the competitive gaming scene like for you?
I love my competitive games, but I really go into them. I'm just trying to have fun and I'm just trying to get better, like as a shooter. I'm trying to work on my game sense and stuff. So I don't take it too seriously, but I am trying to win. So when you get a good team, and you guys vibe well and you play better. Being a woman, it's a bit of a 50-50 on whether or not you're going to have a good chill team where everybody acts normal, though. And then especially as a woman, once they know that you're a woman and you're having a bad game, that's it. Like, might as well mute all comms, turn off your headset, and just zone out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is because in that world, like, it's all about comms. Like, you're not winning, and you have to win through comms. So, like, if you're making calls or whatever, or you're engaging in, like, you're always having to put yourself out there, I guess, when I'm making, like, that you are a female, that you are, like, playing the game. That can create a lot of different scenarios for you.
Yeah, for sure. I have to be very hyper aware in every lobby that I get into and kind of wait for a couple of other people to say stuff to kind of get their vibe and know if it's going to go south if I speak or not.
Yeah. And for clarification, just so I can kind of clarify, what types of, like, competitive games are, like, your bread and butter? Like, what type of competitive games do you, like, love to play and stuff, and are good at that too?
Valorant and CS, and I've been getting into, I don't know if you can necessarily consider it a competitive game or a competitive shooter, but I really enjoy the finals. Me and my little brother have been playing that a lot recently, and it's a lot of fun. We kind of shred.
That's dope, dude.
Yes.
The finals are at the end you get the bag. Yeah. Like, you're competing for teams of 4, or is it duos, or is it teams of 4?
Teams of 3. It's 4 teams of 3 going against each other.
That's legit.
It's a good time. It's kind of similar into as Call of Duty, in that you can kind of run around and do a little bit of, like, spray and pray. But it does still have, like, some strategy involved in it if you really want to, like, go through the tournament.
So like, in the game, do you feel like because there's different roles when you're playing comp. Like, are you like a flanker? Because you have the attitude of a flanker. So I'm trying to figure out, is that your vibe?
In Valorant, I'm a flanker. In the finals, I really do have that big dick energy. In Valorant, it's called the duelist. It's the person that makes the first contact, gets in there, gets information, and tries to at least get a pick 2 if they're lucky.
That's badass. Which will work.
When you can get 1 to 2, you can open up the round for your team to win pretty easily because you'll have a numbers advantage, even if you get picked off.
You love playing the meta, right? Like, you're always like, because if I can play the numbers game, I take 2. What's they're down 2 and your rest of your team's up. Like, that's your whole game with that.
In theory, people throw a lot unintentionally.
Just so we're clear, I might be one of those players. Yeah, you know what? Like,
hey, I'm guilty of it too.
Bro, I am such a feeder. Like, so I always thought that term, like, back in, like, I was playing LOL, like, a long time ago. And, like, they were like, I was like, man, I'm going to be a jungler, bro. And they were like, because, the internet is the internet. I was gonna go jungle, and then all I would do is I'd pop out in a lane and just get dumpstered. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come right back with ReRoll. All right, so we're going to start our ReRoll segment. And on ReRoll, what we do is we've listened to your story. And so we've taken notes as we've kind of gone through your story. And there are key personality traits, preferred roles that you might take, or gameplay roles that you might take, favorite genres and worlds, a signature style or vibe about you, and then visual inspiration. And so we're going to take all of those and feed them into a bot, and then create a picture of you. And so you get 2 rerolls. That's the game we're playing. You have 2 rerolls after the first roll, and you can choose to change anything you want about the picture that's created of you. But after your second reroll, you'll get a title, a card, and then we'll take that, and our designer will turn that into a official Gamertag trading card.
Awesome.
Cool? All right.
Yeah. Question about the rerolls. Is it a full reroll, or is it like I can change an aspect?
So you can change whatever you want. You could change it you could, well, I should say this differently. So we have a set of things that we're going to feed the bot. But you could change aesthetically whatever you want to change.
For sure.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to share my screen, and then Portabella is going to walk through what we have learned about you throughout this interview.
That'll be interesting.
So as we've been talking, I've been writing a little bit down, basically based on vibes, things you have told us about, like your style and stuff like that. None of them bad, obviously. They're all good things, in my opinion. Let's start with personality traits. So immediately, you seem like the most bubbly, energetic person ever. And you talked later about how you really try to spread kindness everywhere you go, and even games when people are not as kind to you. And so that was another big one. And then just you have this almost like a 180 flip. You have this edginess about you that is, I don't know how else to explain besides like it's just like I wrote later on that you have like this badass energy. It's where it comes from. So that's for personality traits. Preferred roles and gameplay. You're kind of like a jack of all trades. You're a shooter, you infiltrate, you're flanking, you're a team player, sometimes MVP, depending on how well you're doing for your team.
That's
so
a big ask.
Yes. So overall, I put chameleon because you. It seems like when we're talking, you kind of shift into the different roles that you're needed in. So that was the best way I could combine all of those. In terms of your favorite genres / worlds in games or anything like that, we have Call of Duty, Prop Hunt, Valorant, Counter-Strike, and Lord of the Rings. All things you kind of mentioned throughout while we were talking. In terms of signature style or vibe, pink is definitely the main thing, and some blue, but mainly pink. You said your favorite number was 3. We'll see if it incorporates any of that. This is where I wrote down badass energy because you definitely have it. And then the overall like name is just kind of what you're saying when you're late. You're a very laid back person, almost like effortlessly cool in that way of just like, I'm just gonna let the cards fall and see what happens. And then lastly, visual inspiration. You kind of envision like this character of Marthah being in space in this Milky Way, ethereal looking floating aspect, and being more of like leaning towards elven styles from Lord of the Rings, but just in general. So that's kind of all the things me and Scardo kind of picked up throughout this interview with you.
Hell yeah, y'all flatter me too much.
Badass energy.
Hell yeah, I'm writing that on I'm getting a tattoo.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to now roll the first reroll, and we'll get a picture and see what it looks like. Are you ready?
All right, let's do it. I think it's so funny that you put one of my key personality traits as edginess, because I have an inside joke with a friend from like a decade ago where I got like a faux leather jacket at one point. And he was like, oh, that's kind of nice. I was like, yeah, I'm edgy. So now every time we talk, he's like, oh, no, I forgot. I'm sorry. You're edgy.
Yeah. Look at this big bright background. You have the stars behind you. You have the Milky Way galaxy. You have a bow in your hand like you talked about, although there's nothing fletching that arrow. So this is like the first roll. She's got blue hair. So maybe we can change that. You can change anything you want about this. But you get 2 rerolls. What do you think?
Okay. I'd like to take away the armor and add a cloak, and I want pink hair.
Okay, I added take away the armor and add a cloak, and please make her have pink hair. Is there anything else you want to add to this picture?
No, I think that's it.
All right, let's see what happens on your next reroll. Oh, you have a cloak
Oh, it
now.
kept
Isn't
the
this
3.
This is super cute.
So for our listeners right now, we have a humanoid elf-looking character with like bright pink hair, purple cloak, pink like tunic with a 3 on it, and just a bow and arrow in space. That's what we're at right now.
That actually looks so cool. The only thing I wish looked better was the bow and arrow. I'm like in the middle of it and I only have half of an arrow.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you have the arrow it's already fleshed and you're in the middle of the bow. So we could, a way to do this might be like, I want her to be drawing the arrow and like shooting it at a target, or maybe not. Maybe that's bad advice, but you get one more reroll and then that will be final. So however you want to word this, we can word it.
I actually like that. I think it would be cool if it looked like I was about to shoot the arrow at the camera. I also love how her smile is so big again.
It's like this wide, like Cheshire grin on her face.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that prompt? So the prompt I wrote was, can you make this look like she is aiming the bow and pulling it back like an archer at the camera?
I think it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you want to change? Aesthetically, you could say, hey, I want to have like magic going on like around me or whatever.
Oh, no. I was going to say I want like a forest tree, like a pine or something behind me or like near me, next to me. But that's weird because I'm in space.
Well, maybe there is a tree on this planet where Mars
space.
There you go. That's true. That's true. Put me in grass with like a nice, pretty tree behind or near.
I'm going to work on this prompt. So, can you tell me exactly what you'd like me to put in here?
Add grass instead of a dirt road, and some kind of greenery.
What about the bow? Do you want to keep the bow the blue color like that? Contrast?
Yeah, I like the bow. The bow looks really cool.
All right, cool. So what I added was add grass instead of the dirt, and please put trees into the shot. Also make the 3 a LED 3. This is your final reroll. So is there anything else you want to change about it?
No, just remind it to keep the pink hair.
All right, we're going to keep the pink hair. So please keep the pink hair. Are you ready to reroll?
Yup.
Usually whenever we talk about LEDs, it's like a real bright color and then it like starts to pop. Oh, it's so cool. Oh, this looks freaking dope.
The trees are peeking her. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to have to make my next Baldur's Gate 3 character a half-elf. That looks so good so far.
It's so cool, dude.
What is the 3? Look at the 3 just glowing away. I'm not sneaking up on anyone, but that's okay.
I mean, you might be. Oh, dude, that's it. That's so cool.
Uh-huh.
All right, so your title. All right, so one, what do you think about this picture?
Oh, I love it.
You love it? Okay, cool.
There's nothing that I would change about it at this point.
That's freaking awesome. All right, so your title is Starshot Silva. Pink-haired elf draws a glowing bow deep in the forest. LED 3 blazing, cosmic cool, locked and loaded.
Hell yeah.
That's your card summary. So your title will be the Starshot Silva. That's freaking dope, dude.
That is super cool.
Cool, man. That's awesome. So thanks for doing ReRoll with us. I hope we got a good representation of like, this is Marthah Maple.
I think so. I think, yeah, I mean, you guys really let me drone on. So I feel like we didn't miss.
Yeah. Never miss, bro. Never miss. All right. So the next 30 seconds are all yours. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to shout out, like whatever, anything you want to talk about that you're doing or that you want to promote or whatever. It's all yours.
I don't really have anything to promote. I think the only thing I would want to say is kindness is free, and make sure whatever space you're in, try and lead with kindness. It doesn't take anything from you.
I love it. Kindness is free.
Kindness is free, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, being kind.
People say that being hateful is free too, but it's really not, because it takes a toll on like your heart and your soul.
Totally.
Whereas kindness just lifts that up.
One, Marthah, thank you so much for coming on and like hanging out with us and telling us your story. We loved having you on, and we loved hanging out. It was great. And 2, like, I love that message. Like, it's all about kindness. Because, like, especially in the world we live in on the internet, it's always easy to like write something to somebody, but like, it's cool, man. Like, the cool thing is like to be nice and like lead with kindness, like you said.
Exactly. The internet is so anonymous, but at the same time, it's really not because you carry that stuff with you. You know what you've said. I know what I said 10 years ago, you know?
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Gamertagged. Martha, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us. We super appreciated it. Portabella, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Not really. Thanks for listening.
Cool.
Thanks
All right,
for having
Martha.
me, guys.
So thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you all for joining us for this episode of Gamertag. See you on the next one. Gamertag is produced by the team at Gamertag Studios, hosted by Scardo46, with original music by Ryan Osiris, editing by Isabella Sumner, and visual design by Sushi at Opal and Ink. That's a wrap for this episode of Gamertag. We hope you felt today's story and maybe saw a little bit of yourself in it too. To help power the podcast, follow, like, and subscribe. It means so much to us. Want to see the reroll card? Join our Discord. You'll find everything, episodes, cards, and our crew at gamertagpodcast.com. Until next time.
Transmission ending. Goodbye.